There are a lot of aspects of being a school leader that are just difficult, that are not fun. There's plenty that we have to do in a day that is unpleasant and necessary, and we just need to buckle down and do it. But when it comes to classroom walkthroughs, those, my friends, should be fun. Let's talk about why and how to bring the joy back to classroom walkthroughs again. I think anybody who walks around with a clipboard and goes into classrooms and judges teachers and gives them negative feedback is going to find that while a lot of that feedback is correct, the process is so unpleasant that it becomes something that we avoid doing. And doing that, giving people, a feedback form and telling them what they're doing wrong, doesn't actually do very much to change their practice. It's just not that effective. But I believe that getting into classrooms every single day and talking with teachers about their practice is one of the most powerful things you can do as a school leader. It gives you information about what's going on in classrooms, and it gives you relationships based on teachers' actual teaching, seeing them at work. It gives you professional relationships that make your job so much easier and that inform all of your decisions as a school leader. So we've got to get into classrooms, and to get into classrooms consistently over time, we've got to make this feel fun. We've got to make this something other than a root canal, because we can all buckle down and do the difficult things that need to be done. But this is not one of those things that needs to be like pulling teeth. It does not need to be difficult or unpleasant. In fact, it should be pleasant and professionally rewarding for both parties. When you have a conversation with a teacher about their practice, what do we love more than teacher practice? This should be a joy to talk about practice. And yes, we are going to encounter problems that we need to deal with, but most of the time, this can be a positive thing. If you get into classrooms every day and have 3 conversations about practice, and most of those are positive conversations, you are going to find that this habit sticks and you really, really enjoy it. So when you get into classrooms, don't look for ways to criticize, and don't do what most people do or think they're supposed to do, which is give a feedback sandwich. Now, the feedback sandwich has been around for a long time, but it's not based on any research. It's this practice of saying, well, I have a criticism, but I'm going to start with a compliment and then I'm going to finish with a compliment. So the criticism is sandwiched between compliments. That doesn't really work. People know what's coming when we start with the compliment and we end with a compliment, and they have a really hard time taking it seriously that the compliments are authentic. They just kind of brace themselves for the criticism in the middle. This practice does not work. It's not based on any research. So we have got to stop giving the feedback sandwich. It's also much more work, right? You have to think of a compliment that's going to at least sound true. You have to think of a criticism that's going to make a difference and hopefully not be off base. And then you have to think of another compliment. It's weird, right? Try doing it with your spouse. Try doing that with your kids and giving them a feedback sandwich. Unless they're very, very little, like, your kids are going to look at you weird if you try that. And the only reason teachers don't look at us weird when we do that is because they feel like they can't. They have to let us do this thing that they think we're supposed to do and we think we're supposed to do that's not based on any research. So stop giving the feedback sandwich. Just talk with teachers. Ask them an open-ended question. Ask them something that you are genuinely curious about instead of coming up with a forced compliment and a forced suggestion for improvement. Let me know what you think.